Welcome to the UPIKE Football Coaches Show. I'm Rick Bentley. He's Coach Corey Phipps, and we're here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville, Kentucky. That's where we always do our show. You should come by and see us some Thursday. We're here at noon each and every week. And, Coach, I know we're in coming off of a bye week. You had both of your bye weeks in the first kind of half of the season. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think it's allowed us in some tough-fought games to get some guys healthy. So I think it's worked out. But when we looked at it, I wasn't, a big fan of it, but it's been fine. I played in the leagues as, an assistant coach where we had 11 straight conference games. That was brutal. So just to have some time, some reprieve to spend some time with family and friends and for our kids, our players, and to kind of hit the reset button in terms of, the injury piece is pretty nice, to be honest.
And now we'll start league play and play straight through that.
Yeah, we've got 6 games to round it out. We start league play this week, so, conference play in the Appalachian Athletic Conference to try to defend our spot as conference champs from last year. So we're excited to have the opportunity.
And today we started fall break on campus. No classes today and tomorrow. And, of course, so that gave you the opportunity to get them up and early for practice.
Yeah, so we talked about it with our kind of leadership guys on the team. Said, hey, what's you guys want to have typical practice time or get out there early and you guys have a little bit of the afternoon to yourselves. So they wanted to practice. So we got out there at 8 a.m. this morning, got after it for our Thursday practice. And then we turned around and brought out 21 dozen of Heavenly Donuts from here in the community. They do a great job, awesome donuts, and a few milks and juices donated by Airmark, our cafeteria folks. And, so the guys got to eat some donuts post-practice. And now we're here at the Coaches Show. So
who did you bring with you today?
Man, we got a crew today. So we got a few odds and ends, receivers, and different people coming to eat with us today. But, today we've got one of our stud cornerbacks, Boyden. We've got our awesome tight end, Grant Scott. So we're excited to listen to them speak. But, it's become a little bit of business lunch, too. We got a tennis candidate on campus for our full-time tennis position. And then we've got the Moats Group Turf Company to talk to us about our Bear Mountain project and where that's headed in terms of, getting some turf in by next fall, hopefully.
Coach, we opened league play with Rio Grande. They took a 75-year sabbatical between football games, and that happens, I guess.
That happens when you say it wrong. Being an out west guy, Rio Grande is Rio Grande, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
that's
just
right.
saying, we've chosen here to phonetically say that a little bit differently.
They actually played their last football game in Detroit against another Southern school, and I didn't understand that whole. Of course, who are you going to ask why that happened? But then they didn't play for 75 years, and they played a few games this year, which brought me to my question: what kind of a challenge does that present? A school that not only have we not played, because we just did that with Maryville, but I mean there's not decades of film or history on this program.
Yeah, so you don't get decades of film and stuff anyways. It's what most recent coaches there schematically. I think, it's I tip my hat to any of these universities that see the merit and the reasoning and the value on their campuses into the organization of football. So we're glad to have them in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. Then coaches doing a heck of a job. Structurally, they do some cool things. Starting a program from scratch is tough. I can remember when I got to Kentucky Christian and Faulkner University, it was right after they had started football, really, and it was one of those situations where I looked for child protective services outside the stadium every week when you're playing freshmen against juniors and seniors.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of same deal. They've got a few sophomores. Those kids played or didn't play, but they were in the program last year in kind of their practice year, startup year, recruitment year, and then a bunch of freshmen. So bunch of young guys, structurally they do some really cool things. Somebody said, is it the worst football team you've ever seen? I said, absolutely not. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus who that was, but we probably know, some teams we've seen that were, a little bit undersized and under-talented. This team is long. This team is athletic. They're just figuring out life.
I like that they had a year where they were kind of building things up. I thought we did that with the club year in 2000. Yeah. We played 8 games. We played 7 junior varsity teams, and we played Fork Union Military Academy. And I thought that was a really smart way to go about it.
In my 20-plus year deal in this, you're the only team I've ever seen have a club year and then play. Like when you guys talk about that, I find that interesting. Most people, when you start it, this is the way you do it. You hire some coaches, you let them recruit, 40, 50 kids, you get them on campus, you go through some weight sessions in the fall, a little bit of practice, and then in the spring you go through spring ball and you bring in a few transfers, and then you bring in that whole next high school cycle. So, this is pretty typical. A lot of teams do not do it right. They do not know the demographic shift and the cultural shift to your campus and what it takes to nurture and build a bunch of football kiddos into grown men. So, I don't know what their situation is up there, but, I've been some places that did it right. I've been some places that are tough. If you look at the Mid-South and the AAC, there's not many teams that existed past 25 years. Most of these schools have started football to drive enrollment, to bring something to their campus, to do something bigger than football for their community. So, Lindsey Wilson started a program, UPIKE, KCU, on and on and on. Almost all Reinhardt Point, all those are within the last 20 years.
I will say this about Rio. I don't know who they've got coaching their football team. That's your business. But I will tell you this. Those people tend to do things the right way up there.
Yeah, typically they do. I think a lot of their coaches up there in their athletic department, they've been super successful in basketball and volleyball and soccer and baseball and different sports through the years. So, and it's Ohio. There's great athletics there at the high school and youth level. So, and then you bring some kids outside the region that do real well. So, yeah, there's by no means do we think that that's not going to be a stellar program moving forward.
And I thought the same thing when we got in the league and Shorter was in it from Georgia, and then Point started football, because when Point started, Shorter was shifting to Division II.
Yeah.
There were no NAIA schools in Georgia, and there's a ton of talent there, and we know what kind of talent they have in Ohio.
Yeah, exactly. And some of those schools have shifted back from the Division III model to NAIA in Ohio, like Defiance College and stuff. So, yeah. Seeing more and more people want to leave the NCAA and find a place where common sense is prevalent and used, and I think the NAI does that for some institutions.
You're way the levels above me, but I would never be interested in changing from the NAI. I think they do some things wrong. There's no question about it. There's some things they need to straighten up, but it is so much closer to what we need.
Yeah, it fits us in our identity right now, and I think for the time being, we're not looking for a place elsewhere. We love the Appalachian Athletic Conference, and we love the NAI.
To me, like if you go NCAA Division II, Division I, Division III, Division II, there is not a decision made based on your needs.
No, that's exactly right.
All based on the Division I level, and NAI. That's what
it's really the P4 level. So those Ohio States and University of Kentucky's and people like that to drive the conversation. And if you want the smaller fries and the deal, then you're gonna be left on the outside in terms of your opinion and your wants and your needs.
Grant Scott, local boy, going to come in and talk to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a dynamic game in the last ball game. Had over 100 yards receiving at tight end. If you look at it, I think this is one of his better years through this thing, and I just think he's a big part of our program.
No question.
I will tell you, in terms of work ethic and how he does things, he's probably the most respected kid in our program by his peers, and that says something.
He had a 94-yard game against Campbellsville, and I'm going to try to get him to say that you wasn't throwing the ball to get him to 100 yards, but we'll see how that goes.
The statistician did not give me halftime stats or anything, so I didn't know.
Understand that.
Especially when we're on the road and you can't ease down and say, hey, Phipps, this guy's one catch away. It's kind of tough when you're on the road.
People don't know what kind of conversations we have on my bathroom run there at halftime. And then we got Marshawn Boyden, who is not from Eastern Kentucky.
No, absolutely not. He's a transfer there from Northern California who's done a great job. Big, lengthy corner, 6'2", about 190. Been a very enjoyable young man to coach. A little bit quiet at times, starting to come out of the shell, and has made some big plays for us.
He really did, and I look forward to talking to him about his Baker game last year when he had an interception in the fourth quarter that really helped us
seal it,
hold them off. All right, Coach, let's get started on these guys, and I'll let you go eat and do some business back there and get us a good deal on turf. We'll be back after this. You're watching UPIKE Football Coaches Show from Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville, Kentucky. I'm Rick Bentley. He's Grant Scott. You may recognize him. He's a Pikeville boy here, and they're starting tight end, 6'4", 242-pound junior, and I thought that was a stretch. I don't think you weigh 242.
Well, I came in and weighed 250, and
Had to get that down a little
I
bit.
got
huh?
down a little bit.
Grant is a veteran. He's been on this show before, and I got to tell you, I've been looking forward to this because the greatest line of the season last year was when you told me, you completely caught me off guard when I asked you about the Pikeville Belfry week, and you said, I pretty much move out of the house
Yeah.
that week. I've never laughed so hard on TV. That was great. 20 catches, 287 yards, and a couple of big games for you. But one thing that I liked best is that even in the games when your yardage is not there, you've never caught less than 4 passes in a
Yeah.
game.
I mean, I just huge thanks to Coach Phipps. I think he utilizes me pretty well, and I mean, catching the ball is a whole lot of fun, and I mean, I just am thankful that I am in the opportunity to do that.
Have you had to move out of the house any, or move out of the dorm any this year?
No,
we're
not yet,
good.
not yet.
Good on that one there. Let's talk about the Maryville game. 6 catches, 101 yards.
Yeah, that was my first game over 100 yards,
Yeah.
so that was pretty big. You know, we didn't get the result we wanted, but I mean, I had a good game, and I just try and make plays, you know, and do what I can do to help us get in situations to where we can win.
Campbellsville a few weeks ago, 6 catches, 94 yards. I told Coach Phipps I was going to try to goad you into saying that it was his fault that you didn't get one more catch so you could have a 100-yard game there.
Well, it was my fault. We watched the film, and I dropped one pass, and it was 6 yards. It was a 6-yard route.
Really,
And,
that would have done it right there.
yeah.
So last season, 23 catches, 291, and a touchdown. Tell me about that score.
The touchdown?
Yeah.
I mean, scoring touchdowns is a whole lot of fun, but I mean, really this year, I'm happy to be right where I finished last year in just 4 games.
Yep.
I feel like it shows how hard I work in the off season and what I've done to get to where I'm at, and it just means a lot to me that I'm able to be where I am.
Coach told me that you may be the hardest worker, the most respected kid for your work in the program.
Yeah, Coach Phipps has a joke with me that one day at practice last week, actually, he looked at me and asked if I even said anything all practice. I'm a very introverted guy. I don't really say much. More of a lead by example kind of person, and I just try and let everyone see how hard I work and hope they follow along.
Well, you know, a tight end is kind of a combo of a lineman and a receiver, and most receivers have the reputation, at least, of being divas and are always in the quarterback's ear. Hey, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open. So I'm guessing you probably don't do that either, huh?
No, you know, I'm not a Ferrari. I'm not going to make I'm not going to make an explosive play like that. And I'm honestly pretty easy to tackle, I feel like, but it's going to take them. They're going to have to try. I just try and get myself in the right position to make a play.
Well, the picture we had of you from the Baker game, which we're getting ready to talk about, from last year, there were 3 guys bringing you down. So it must not be too easy to get you down. Let's get off the field for just a minute. What are you majoring in?
Business management.
Management, nice. And your brother played here, and thus the reason that you were saying that you had to move out of the house.
Yeah.
Because you played at Pikeville, he was coaching at Belfry, and of course we know what that rivalry's like around here, and the Pikeville Belfry week. So this year, Belfry got the better of that matchup. So I'm assuming you didn't have a lot to say to him either, huh?
No, I mean, he was at Pikeville his freshman year, so he actually finished high school 2-2.
Oh yeah.
I'm undefeated against Belfry, so.
And you probably remind him of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's he doing these days?
He's selling life insurance for Modern Woodman.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And was an All-American last year, if I remember.
Yep.
We don't have many first-team All-Americans in our 25-year history
not.
here. It's a pretty big deal. Let's go back to that game last year where you had against Baker. I mean, we go out there and get a win. We weren't supposed to do that, according to them, but I felt like we were kind of in control the entire way.
I felt like that too. I felt like they came in and didn't expect us to explode, you know, right out the gate like we did, and I think we really did a great job of taking advantage of it.
And you mentioned the Maryville game. I know that didn't end the way we wanted it to, but I mean, we had a lead late into that game.
You know, that's what we worked on during the bye week was just situational things and we got to work on the little details and focus on finishing. We just got to finish. Also, I don't feel like yet we've played a complementary game, offense and defense. So whenever we start doing that, we're going to start blowing the roof off these places.
I had to pin you down and ask you what's been the highlight of your career.
Highlight of my career. I mean, the Maryville game statistically, I loved that game. I was worn out, and that all my buddies make a joke. You can clearly see it. But I mean, I told Coach Phipps earlier before the season started that I'm excited to play without my brother, but we're in it now, and I have had a lot of fun. But it has to be playing with my brother. The first 2 years I was here, he just means a lot to me, and I look up to him. So
you told me that there was one scheme that we ran last year where you two pulled together.
Yeah.
In a blocking scheme.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun too, and it was never his fault.
No, of course it's not. It was always your fault.
Yeah,
you're the younger brother, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to be. So in your career, 46 catches, 632 yards. We don't have a lot of 1,000-yard receivers.
Yeah.
We got a few, but not a lot. So you're moving up that list right there too. Tell me what the scheme is. Don't tell me what the scheme is because we don't want to let any cats out of the bag. But what are your plans for Rio Grande?
The first year, them being a program, I think we're just going to try and work on us and focus on the little details and just try and play a complementary game and see what we can do.
Rio Grande played football. They took 75 years off.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I'm not old enough to remember when they played football before, so this is new to me too. Yeah. And we got a lot of friends up in that area, and a lot of friends at that school, and we look forward to seeing those folks here as we get ready to play. And then we hope to, send them home with a loss.
Yeah, get our first win of the year.
No question about it. Got Marshawn Boyden getting ready to step in here. What can you tell me about him?
Marshawn? I love Marshawn. He's a huge corner for us. He's got a big body. I love the way he pushes the defense, and just he's a role model and a leader. So,
Oakland, California. That's about like Belfry, right?
I couldn't tell you. Definitely not.
Probably not. All right, buddy. I appreciate your time again this year. We really appreciate you coming on here. Tell your dad we said hello and your brother.
I will.
And you got anything else you want to say before we let you slide?
I just hope to see everybody out there Saturday and watch us get hopefully our first win against Rio Grande.
7 o'clock kickoff, and hopefully the first pass is coming your way.
Yep. Hopefully.
All right, brother. That's Grant Scott. We'll be back after this with Marshawn Boyden. You're watching the UPIKE Football Coaches Show from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville, Kentucky. Welcome back to the UPIKE Football Coaches Show. Rick Bentley with you here. This is Marshawn Boyden. He's from close by, Oakland, California.
Not too close.
Okay, when we say Oakland, tell me how Oakland are you?
Born and raised.
Yeah, like you're in Oakland, or are you in the
in Oakland, California, West Oakland.
Good deal. 6'2", 189-pound senior cornerback.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what a cornerback does.
Stop touchdowns, get interceptions.
You try to keep the I know what you do on a pass route. You're keeping that guy from catching the ball or moving down the field. What happens on a rush?
On a run.
Yeah.
Get off the block and get ball. See ball, get ball.
Get there. 9 tackles, a pass breakup, and an interception this year. Tell me about the pick.
Against Georgetown, quarterback was rolling out to his left. He never seen me coming back from the sideline. Cover 2, receiver was coming from the right side, across the route, and I undercutted it. It almost took it back to the crib.
Almost. Well, listen, that wasn't your first pick, because at Baker last year, you had a big interception. We had 3 picks in the fourth quarter of that game, and you had the second one there, and that really kind of sealed the deal for us right there.
Yes, sir.
What do you remember about that one?
I remember about that one, my first start of the season. So I was kind of nervous, but I was more excited, and I didn't give up no catch that whole game. So, and I had 2 picks, but it got called back for a PI. So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And you didn't do that either, did you?
Nope.
No, not at all. Tell me, I'm glad you said it was your first start, because you had 5 tackles last year. 4 of them were in that Baker game. So you not only did you get the pick that really kind of shut the door on them, but you were involved in a lot of plays too.
Amen.
Yeah. Tell me about that game. What do you remember most about that game?
What I remember most about that game is just I had so much fun because I was playing with my former JUCO teammates, Karan, Javi,
Yeah.
Joe. So it was just like it was all back. Like I was playing back at home in California, so I was just relaxed and calm.
And didn't Javi have the last of the interceptions? He
No,
had one in the fourth
yeah,
quarter too.
Javi had one, but Joe Alvarez had
That's
the.
right. Joe
yeah.
had the last one.
Yeah.
And that was with under a minute to go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, yours was kind of close to the end
Yeah,
zone.
it was
wasn't
like 1:30 left, but then I think they still got the ball back. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't take yours was with 120 left, and it was 42-35 when you got it, and that's how we finished it up, right there. And somehow or another, we had another pick after, even though it was only a minute and 20 left in that game. Let's get off the football field for just a minute. What are you majoring in?
Communication.
And so, you have any fun classes in that communication?
Yeah, I have fun classes. It's from I had to change my major from business, so it's just like it's a big change. From I got to actually like get out my comfort zone and actually like try.
You're kind of quiet in class. Don't hear from you a lot. But on Saturdays, you let your actions speak, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like because when I put that helmet on, I just become a whole different person. But then now that's how I feel.
I like it. So we had a receiver here who was undersized, and he, I used to say when I would do the games, like I'd say, Monday through Friday, nobody knows who that kid is on campus, and on Saturday afternoon, everybody in town knows who he is, and that's kind of where you come from right there, right?
Amen.
You get that helmet on and let it go. We've talked a little bit about Oakland. So tell me, the Bay Area there with San Francisco, is there a rivalry there? Are you comfortable going over to San Francisco? How's that work?
I'm comfortable going to San Francisco. I used to work in San Francisco at Target right before I came out here to play football.
So when the team started moving out of there, like the Raiders are gone now, the A's are gone now, what's that done to the psyche of people in Oakland?
I always say they still Raider fans. I just give them a reason to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
They more diehards.
Do you need a reason to go to Vegas if you're in Oakland?
Not me. I'm not
not.
a Raider fan.
So you're not a Raider fan?
Mm.
Who are you a fan of?
New Orleans Saints.
Are you really? So how does an Oakland kid wind up a fan of the Saints?
Because back in the day, like 2011, 2012, they defensive coordinator or head coach used to pay their players to injure people, and I thought that was pretty cool. So
you're not trying to hurt anybody out there, are you?
I mean, I'm not trying to hurt nobody, but I'm opposing my will every time.
There you go. You're gonna let it happen. Tell me about what do you want to be in the future? What do you want to do when you grow up?
I just want to be successful in my life. I just want to have a lot of kids, move my family out of California, and hopefully live in Germany or something like that with my girlfriend.
Germany.
Yeah.
The other country, Germany.
Yeah.
You're not talking about a town out in California, there,
No.
right? So that's where you want to wind up living, not in Oakland. You
No.
want to go to Germany, huh? Well, have you been to Germany?
No, I haven't been to Germany yet. I'm still working on getting my passport.
Do you speak any German?
I know one phrase.
Do you know the kind of food they have out there, over there?
I would say my lady, she tried to cook something for me if I try to step up my comfort zone and try it.
Sausages are big there, and I like sausages, so maybe I'll come visit. You get over there. Tell me what you want to do in Germany.
I really want to do real estate, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Just start flipping houses and stuff like that, or car salesman.
I like the idea of flipping houses. That's got to be a fun way to go right there. And you sell that first house, and you really get it steamrolling going in that direction right there, right?
Amen.
What do you know about Rio Grande?
Oh, Wild Green. I just know they from Ohio, and then they say new season starting up. I just heard of them.
Yeah, they 75 years they didn't play football, and now
Dang.
they started back up this year, and I'm glad to have them in our league. I like that area up there. Rio Grande, Ohio is where the Bob Evans restaurant chain started. That's the headquarters of that chain there, and there's one here in Pikeville. So,
Yeah, I've been there.
yeah, so we know a little bit about that. So what are your goals for the rest of the season?
My goal for the season is just to do my job to the best ability so I could get all conference, hopefully, and just be acknowledged for all the hard work I put in the off season.
Well, I'll tell you this. When we started football here, we had a DB who reminds me a little bit of you. He's on our board of trustees now, so he's been successful in his life. He went into banking, but his freshman year he had 3 interceptions. His sophomore year he had 5 interceptions. And his junior year and senior year, I'm not kidding you when I tell you that the quarterback never threw the ball to his side of the field for 2 years because they knew what he was going to do about it. His idea was that if you're throwing that ball out here, you're throwing it to me.
Amen.
And that's how you look at it too, right?
Yes, sir.
You want to go get those footballs. Tell me about your defense. I know it hasn't gone the way you guys wanted it to so far, but I'm sure that this bye week came at a good time for you guys, right?
Amen. We still not 100%, but this bye week for sure showed that some of our young guys could step up and play in big time games like this. Like even though like this is small, like a kind of small team, the first conference game, so we got a new season, got to start off strong.
Yeah, it is a new season because from here on out, it's nothing but league play, and this is going to decide if we get in the playoffs or
Yes,
not.
sir.
We did this last year. We can do it again this year, right, and run it
Yeah.
back. So, Marshawn, one more time, Oakland, California. Tell me what is the best thing about being from Oakland, California?
The best thing I would say for me, I just really love the food out there, to be honest.
Tell me what the difference is in the food there and the food here.
I would say it's a lot of like small businesses out there that's not like a lot of like you won't go nowhere else and see those places, so it's more like they actually like gotta love their job to keep it going there every day to work and stuff like that.
So tell me what your favorite food is.
I would say in California my favorite food is Monkey King or Lucky 37.
And what do they serve?
Like it's what is it, Korean cuisine with fried chicken and
Yeah.
and rice.
Korean barbecue?
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there, no question about it. All right, brother, appreciate your time.
No, appreciate you, man.
And I'll see you next Thursday, too. We'll be in class, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Marshawn Boyd, and we'll be back after this. Wrap things up with Coach Phipps. You're watching the UPIKE Football Coaches Show here from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville, Kentucky. Welcome back to UPIKE Football Coaches Show. Rick Bentley, Corey Phipps joining me again here. Coach, one question I wanted to drop on you here. We played one home game so far. Now we got 4 of the next 5 to be right here.
Yeah, it's going to be good stuff. So, yeah, it's just the way the schedule fell when you had the schedule and then had one school back out on you because they thought you were just a little bit too good to play them. Then you had another school shut down, and you have to shift and move some games just to get things done. But so the front end of the schedule pretty rough in terms of travel, but back end pretty nice.
Not bad to have 4 out of 5 at home. I don't know if we've ever had that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it?
And then that 6th game, we're hoping that that's going to be for all the marbles when we go down to Reinhardt.
Yep. That's the hopes for y'all. My hopes is that we get a game this week that's that's a W. So
Yeah, we're looking one game at a time
yeah,
right now.
not getting my knees in front of my skis, baby.
You know, we're gonna back off here, Coach. So, tell me what the next 48 hours look like.
Yeah, for us it's a little bit different just because of fall break, and we'll have some film sessions this afternoon and some different things, and some opportunities for community service tomorrow and our Fist Bump Friday stuff that we do. And I asked the kids today when they wanted walkthroughs tomorrow, and they said keep it the same, 6 a.m. So
There you go.
they want to get up, get it over with. They like the older guys really like the early morning stuff because then they have the afternoon, take a nap, run some errands, hang out with their girlfriend if they have one.
And so you could do Fist Bump Friday. Will that be expanded tomorrow with no classes?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask Chris Elliott about that. I've been so busy with some AD stuff that I've, we compartmentalize some stuff as the coaching staff and guys got some duties. We'll look at that, but definitely be out in the, schools tomorrow night watching some ball games. And, then we, obviously got a bunch of recruits coming to campus. Crowd might be a little bit thinner because our student body's gone, but outside that, I think it'll be a really beautiful night when you look at the weather.
Well, I'll tell you what, crowd might be down a little bit, but if it's anything like it was last time with the recruits, my goodness, that had to be a record.
Yeah, I think we had about 250 recruits, and then, in addition to that, they all bring, 1, 2, 3 people with them. So there were probably close to 1,000 people involved in just the recruiting process last home game.
I love to see people roll in orange and black.
Yeah.
But I love seeing those kids rolling in their school Letterman's jackets, things like that. You see where they're all from.
We appreciate our corporate sponsors that feed those kids in our president's tent in a recruiting situation, like Buffalo Wild Wings this week, who's our corporate sponsor.
They're this week?
Yep, absolutely.
Like what I hear there, that's for sure. So what do we need to know about Saturday?
Yeah, I think you need to come out and support our guys. You're going to see a good young football team in Rio against a little bit more veteran crew, and we're hoping that's going to be the difference. Is we're a bit older, a little bit more physical, a little bit more locked into things than those cats are. But aside from that, I think you're going to see 2 groups of young men who represent their universities in a really positive fashion.
No question about that. Now, Coach, I'm looking on my phone, but you're going to tell me quicker than I can find it on here. Every game we have is there's something special going on.
Yeah, this is our blackout game.
This
is our blackout game. So,
hey, you know what I've got at home, Coach? And
what's that?
I might break out for you Saturday night. We talked earlier about that club year.
Yeah.
I have a black jersey.
There you go. Are you going to wear it?
I might wear that thing, but if I do, I'll have to have a shirt or 2 on under it because it is mesh. It is completely mesh.
That's funny.
We didn't spend a tremendous amount of money on jerseys back then.
Yeah.
And, yep.
So we'll have some free T-shirts out provided by Core Health Centers and Dr. Jennifer Phipps. So might know that gal. So you might
I've heard of her.
Be able to get one of those.
I went back the other day to, shall I say, borrow some ice in the training room.
Yeah.
And she was back there doing some work.
Yeah, so. Yeah. She comes in a couple of days a week and treats the student athletes as a chiropractor. So
she does a good job, Coach. I appreciate your time today. Let's get us a win on Saturday.
Absolutely.
I promised you last week that you'd feel better after this game. We're going to feel better on Saturday night than we feel last Saturday, week ago Saturday.
Gotcha. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, we'll wrap things up here. I want to thank Marshawn and Grant for joining us here for Coach Phipps, and all our friends here from Pike TV and Wyatt and my staff there. They're doing such a great job of getting everything together. And really, all I do is sit down here and talk to these guys, so I don't really have a lot to do with that. So for all of those people and Coach Corey Phipps, I'm Rick Bentley. You've been watching the UPIKE Football Coaches Show, Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville, Kentucky.